Scientists here in Norway and all over the world have previously offered to examine this gentleman's, the elderly gentleman's, powers of healing, but for obvious reasons, I don't think he wants to participate. His Facebook page currently has over 91,000 fans, and in his peak year, which was 2009, he was mentioned 3,448 times in Norwegian printed media and online news. Now that's getting a lot of attention for a healing claim. Now, I must also tell you that the foundation that I represent, the James Randi Educational Foundation, offers a $1 million prize for anyone who can prove any healing powers, that is magical healing powers, any kind of psychic, supernatural, or occult ability of any kind. Now, I didn't notice when I came in this evening, I didn't notice a special lineup outside of psychics who wanted to collect the $1 million prize. And for this elderly gentleman who wrote this book that sold millions of copies here in Norway alone, we sent him registered letters, and they were signed for, they were received all right, offering him the $1 million prize. He never responded. Now, is there anybody in this room who has any kind of a talent, singing, dancing, brushing their teeth, anything, who would not want $1 million that they can do what they say they can do? I don't think so. He does this healer, he says he does this without charging anybody any, but he has sold millions of books. He's done very well with that, and I suppose he has to support himself somehow. I would suggest to him that he come forth, meet me, sign the agreement, and then he will heal somebody, and if he really does it by faith alone, he will win the $1 million. Now, if he doesn't want the $1 million, he can give it away. Give it away to hungry children someplace in Africa, for example, or for AIDS research. Anything, any charity that requires $1 million, I'll ask him to do that, and I don't think I'm going to hear anything from this man. Now, the Norwegian faith in the supernatural is also generously fed by Princess Martha Louise, of course, as you know, and her husband. She has argued to the whole world that she has a guardian angel and everybody else has a guardian angel, and that they follow us and protect us, you see. Well, through paid courses, she is allegedly teaching people how to communicate with these angels. Now, what her angel school teaches, maybe it teaches them how to fly, I don't know, or how to be invisible. In the last 4 years, Martha's angels have been mentioned 6,800 times in online and printed Norwegian media. That's astonishing. Your princess has now asked her angels to bring assistance in Japan. Now, wait a minute. Martha Louise, didn't the angels know that the tsunami was coming and the earthquake? Didn't they know about that? Didn't God tell them about it? Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But they should have sent the angels first, because thousands of people in Japan are dead. Now you're calling the angels? It's a little bit late. Knowing how well prayer and angels worked during the Holocaust and during previous tsunamis and the slaughter by Pol Pot and so many other disasters in history, I'm sure we can expect immediate assistance due to this royal intervention. Give me a call if you find out about that. In 2008, a member of Parliament was pulled from the registered list of the Labour Party because she had used psychic hotlines costing 100,000 kroner, that's a lot of money, in 1 year. I don't know if she was ever off the phone. Must have been on there day and night calling these psychics. The main business daily in Norway said that in 2007 that the market for psychic hotlines was estimated at 250 million kroner yearly. The organization Mental Health then told the newspaper that they received about 20 calls every week from people who have used psychic hotlines and as a result suffer from mental or economic issues, mostly economic, I'm sure. In 2009, about 10 Norwegian alternative specialists claimed that they could treat pancreatic cancer with apricot kernels mistletoe, omega fatty acids, heavy metals like platinum, and healing through acupuncture and nutrition advice. Nonsense! These people are swindling you. They are swindling you by giving you false promise and false hope. Oh, but you've had wonderful artists visit here that obviously have influenced you. In 2010, Mr. Uri Geller visited the Great Alternative Fair and outside Oslo, and then it was the largest alternative fair in Northern Europe with an estimated 12,000 visitors. Wow! Now, I don't know whether you're aware of this, but Mr. Geller has, on YouTube particularly, you can look him up, has been exposed many times as a simple magician, a trickster. I wrote an entire book about him. He didn't sue me. I don't know why. I have a little demonstration I'd like to give you here. This is a stainless steel fork. It says stainless china. It's made in China, right? This is a, there, that's better. Much better sound, yes. I am going to ask for a volunteer to come to the foot of the stage here. Any volunteer who would like to come up on stage just for a moment, please? Come ahead, don't have to hold your hand up. No, come right ahead. There you go. How do you do? Can you read what it says there? It says stainless steel something.
Yeah, it says Winco stainless china.
There you go. Stainless china. I never knew there was such a thing as stainless. Anyway, this is a regular stainless steel fork. I'm going to ask you, sir, if you'll hold it like this between your fingers, but turn to face the audience, okay? Just between your fingers, just lightly. I hold it down like this so they can all see, and I'm going to stand here and I'm just going to stroke it with my fingers. Now, I don't got to put too much pressure on it. I'm just going to stroke it. I do this stupid thing so many times every year. Hold it for a minute, put your elbows close to your body. So that's it. Now, oh, look at this. It seems to be getting flexible. Look at it. Don't hold it too tight. Now hold it very, very lightly. Very, very lightly. Look at this. It seems to be getting flexible. Look at this. Okay, let go of it now. Let go of it. Take your hands off. Look at this. I'll just hold it here and watch what happens. Oh. It's poetic, isn't it? It actually is like a poem being written right now. Hold your hands out, please. And there you go, and there you go. You can take that as a souvenir. These simple things that I show you, these simple little tricks, might prove something. You gave a great response to Mr. Uri Geller when he was here last, and he's here again. He's doing shows in Bergen, I'm told. Well, I think Norway needs me. Now, another question, if I may be so bold. Think about this. What is the attitude of average people when they're subjected to sensory input of hearing something or seeing something? Now, as a magician, I have to know about these things, you see. Now, suppose that you are in a town where you've never been before and you've been told only that there's a riding academy around the corner where they teach people how to ride horses, you see. That's all you know about the town. But you're sitting in the sunshine, it's a nice afternoon, you're sitting there, and what do you hear? Coming around the corner, you hear, you say, oh, I wonder what that is. Now, if you're a rational person, and I believe you're all rational, well, most of you. If you're a rational person and you hear that sound and you know there's a riding academy around the corner, what do you expect to come around the corner? A horse, right? That's what I would expect. Now, maybe if you're a little strange and you have a different thought process going here, you might expect a zebra. Not very likely, but you look at it and go, I think that's a zebra. But if you're a real woo-woo, and that's an expression I use to signify people who believe in everything first and then think about it afterwards, if you're a certified woo-woo, you'll say, oh, I hear that. That must be a unicorn. So there are three different classes of people. The rational people, the people who are maybe not so rational, and then the woo-woos. And I hope there's nobody here who would say, that must be a unicorn, so please don't disappoint me. Now, what are we skeptics fighting? I have come here on behalf of the Norwegian humanists, by the way. I'm sure you're all aware of that. And I am very, very pleased to find, I only discovered 2 days ago, that the humanist movement in Norway is very substantial. They have many, many members all over the country, and many centers where meetings are held every month by the humanists themselves, and they can give you a much more rational point of view than other organizations that will tend to send you to bed at night believing in ghosts and miracles and various things like that. Do listen to what the humanists have to say, please. But what are we skeptics of the humanists fighting? We're fighting astrology, speaking to the dead, prophecy, that's from the stock market all the way to football scores, if you're interested. Black medicine, giving advice on critical matter by tarot cards, crystal balls, on love and marriage, anything. It's all nonsense, it's claptrap, it's fraud, it's misinformation. And I'm going to do a few demonstrations for you, but I have to tell you first that some years ago I did one on astrology. A really good demonstration. It can be seen on YouTube, as a matter of fact. If you go, you put in Randi, R-I-N-D-I, and you put astrology, I think you'll come up with a connection. I invite you to see it. But I'll tell you briefly what it was. I went to a local university in Florida. I was in disguise because many people know me in the United States from television. And I went in disguise, and I was introduced by the teacher as an astrologer who was going to cast horoscopes for everybody in the class. There were about 40 people there. And so I handed out the... Hello? The UFOs are coming in. I handed out the instruction sheets, and I asked them to come back the following day after they gave me their birth dates. Each one of them had a slip of paper with their name on it and their birth dates. And when they came back, and I came back the next day, I handed out sealed envelopes with the names on them. I gave them to each one of the people, to their correct names. I said, okay, now everyone open up your horoscope and read the horoscope in there. And, oh yes, they read the horoscope, and then they started to get very excited. People would say, oh, this is wonderful. It's so accurate. Exactly, look at that. So accurate. And they talked to one another, yes, and I said, okay, now, I want to see hands, please. Those who think that there is no value whatsoever in the horoscope, hold up your hand. Nobody held up their hand. So, under 0, I wrote 0. I said, how many would give it a 1? No hands. 0 again. 2, nothing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At 8, a couple of hands went up. At 9, almost all the hands. And at 10, every hand in the room went up. It was very exciting. And I said, now I want each one of you to take your horoscope, hand it over your shoulder to the person behind, and the person at the end of the row come up to the front and give yours to the person in the front. Now read the other person's horoscope. Every one of the horoscopes was exactly the same. Every word in each horoscope was exactly the same, and yet these people had thought they all applied. Now, let me give you a sample. I asked them to read the horoscope, and they read things like this. You are a person who tends to be forgiving of other people's faults, and you try to trust them, but once an acquaintance has proven to be dishonest or unworthy of your confidence, you watch them more carefully.